Yo, what's going on YouTube? Okay, so Saints Row 4 comes out this week, so I figured I would take this opportunity to take a look at some of the new crazy weapons. Saints Row has always been one of those crazy games, and Saints Row 4 is no different, except this time it's got some even crazier weapons than last time. So, let's jump straight to it. So starting off we have the Abduction Gun. Now this does exactly what you think it does. Saints Row 4 is obviously all about like an alien invasion, so, you know, it's only fitting that you have an abduction gun. Basically this one you charge it up and you point it sort of at a person or at the ground, and then effectively an abduction beam comes down and it sucks people into the air. You can use it on multiple people, obviously enemies as well, and you can even use it on people in cars, or cars specifically, and then it rips someone out their window and then throws them up in the air. You also do want to be careful because if you stand inside it, it'll also chuck you upwards. Now obviously that's not really going to hurt you because you're in a simulation, but actually you can use it to your advantage, because if you're trying to climb somewhere really high, even higher than you can normally jump, then yeah, chuck down an abduction beam and then it will shoot you in the air and you get a little advantage boost. Now next up we have the Dubstep Gun. Now this is a crazy musical weapon. It obviously does still do damage because it is a gun, but if you pay attention to what's happening on screen, you'll see that when you start firing it, anyone in the surrounding area that isn't taking damage, they start dancing to the beat. And then obviously the person that's actually in the line of fire does still take damage. Also, depending on the skin that you choose with this gun, it plays a different tune. But let me just go silent for a second so you can kind of hear how this gun works, and then we'll pick up afterwards. Okay, next up is the laser gun arm. Now this is the weapon that the murder bots use, so you can either get it through a quest or you can buy it later on. But yeah, it's basically another one of those, like a lot of the alien weapons, they're charge weapons, so once you, once it kind of overheats and once your charge goes down, you need to leave it for a while to regenerate ammo. But yeah, it's just a really fast, powerful kind of machine gun. Does quite a lot of damage, not very accurate, it sprays out quite widely, but if people are grouped up, then it's a good weapon to use. Next up we have the black hole launcher. Now this one, quite simply, wherever you shoot, it shoots a black hole, and then anything that is near the black hole or in the immediate vicinity gets sucked towards and into it. This can suck in people, objects, also things like cars. Doesn't necessarily always pull in the bigger vehicles, but for example if you shoot in front, the police car clearly gets pulled into it. You do want to be careful when you're standing near it, because if you stand too near, you'll get sucked towards it as well and it'll just knock you on the floor. Next up is the Alien RPG. Now this is a really powerful weapon. It's great for taking down vehicles and obviously great for destroying groups of people. Another alien weapon, so it's another one of those charge weapons. You've got effectively infinite ammo, you just need to, when it runs out, let it charge back up. But yeah, you just charge up the shot, let go of it, and then it shoots out a massive kind of rocket laser plasma blast sort of thing and does a lot of damage. Next up we have the bounce rifle. Now this is a kind of pinball gun. Effectively what happens is when you shoot a bullet out, it bounces off the first person and then bounces into anyone that's surrounding it. So for example, if you see the crowd in front, I shoot one guy and the bullet bounces between the entire crowd. So this is great if people are clumped up or enemies are clumped up, because it's a good way to sort of do damage to a lot of people. And there is actually an upgrade you can get that lets you fire 2 bullets, so you can do more damage. Next up is the Disintegrator. Again, one of those kind of like, does what it says on the tin. Basically just disintegrates anything that's in front of it. So it's normally a one-hit kill. It's really good for using on things like murder bots, because they are quite troublesome later on. But yeah, if you want to sort of clear people out quite quickly, then it's quite precise and it just does a lot of damage. It is, provided you actually hit, definitely a one-hit kill. Next up is the Alien Rifle. Now this is just one of the kind of run-of-the-mill alien sort of assault rifles. It fires 3 beams at once and it kind of charges up. This one does actually have an ammo counter, and again, like with all the other alien weapons, you want to kind of like watch it, because if it overheats then you need to let it cool down. But it's pretty powerful, you know, but it does pretty decent damage, and it's just a general kind of all-round good gun. Next up is the burst rifle. Now this is, again, quite simply a burst rifle, but it is pretty good. It's great on sort of like human opponents. It's not so bad on some of the aliens. Perhaps not so great on things like some of the machines, but it's, you know, it's quite accurate. So if you're trying to sort of pick people off from range, then it's quite a good weapon to use. Then we have the Inflator ray. Now this is one of my favourite weapons. It's quite disturbing, but it's also quite funny. Effectively, what you do is you shoot out a beam and you keep it on the opponent, and then they inflate, and they inflate so much that they then blow up. If you see what happened on screen there, the last thing that happens is their eyes pop out, and then that's when they blow up. This can be used on obviously civilians, people, aliens, things like that. Doesn't work on mechs, so it doesn't work on things like the murder bots, quite obviously, and then clearly doesn't work on vehicles, but it is a really good gun. Next up is the Thum Gun. Now this kind of falls under the shotgun category. It's just kind of a pretty powerful gun. It's actually got pretty good range to sort of be classed with the shotguns, but it's just it doesn't fire that fast, but it is quite powerful. It's quite good for vehicles as well, especially if you're sort of being attacked by some of the kind of guys on the hover bikes, things like that. I tend to use it for that. But another one on alien weapons, so you want to kind of watch for it overheating, but it is pretty strong. Then you have the Alien SMG. Again, this is one of the kind of run-of-the-mill alien versions of our weapons. It's just a bog standard SMG, but it fires quite fast. Again, does overheat, so watch that. But does relatively decent damage, and then provided you upgrade it in the right way, it can be a pretty good weapon. Then you have the Alien Pistol. Again, just an alien equivalent of one of our weapons, but it again fires quite fast. It's quite powerful. It's quite good against the Zin. And then again, provided you upgrade it in the right way, but as always, do watch out for it overheating. Then moving on to the melee weapons, you have the Tentacle Bat. Now this is the replacement for the massive purple dildo from Saints Row 3. Does the same thing, it's really powerful, and it will pretty much kill everyone in one hit. Then it just doesn't really do much else, it just kind of flaps around and looks like a disturbing tentacle, but it is pretty strong. And then finally we have the Energy Sword. Now this is another one of my favourite weapons just because it looks really cool. It's basically just a katana that glows, and depending on the skin you have on it, it can either glow pink, orange or blue. But again, it's really powerful, pretty much a one hit kill, and yeah, that's about it really. So that is pretty much it for all the weapons. There are a few I didn't show, but I was just showing all the new weapons. The rest of them are just weapons that have been in the previous Saints Row games. So hopefully you found this helpful. As always, don't forget to like and share this video. It does really help me out, and obviously don't forget to subscribe. Also, don't forget to check out the Facebook page, the Twitter page and the Arekkz Gaming website for all your gaming news throughout the week. Otherwise, thanks for watching, take it easy, catch you next time. Peace out.